let's go straight to Kerala, because a major change there, but we're not sure how big a victory and whether for the Congress it's been, and whether they're slightly disappointed, because they've done much worse than they did just in 2009, 2 years ago, in the Lok Sabha elections. Joining us now is Jayalalithaa Ravi. Thank you, sir, very much for joining us. Are you, frankly, honestly, slightly disappointed in the Congress performance in Kerala? You've just squeaked through.
I say, yeah, I'm happy that we could get the majority, but definitely it is below the very much expectation. That the expectations could not fulfilled. It will make a little disappointment. That's correct.
Right. So just going to overall picture for the Congress today, because obviously you're in the central government and you will have to kind of steer the central government over the next few years till 2014. You've got the DMK, which is severely weakened, but will become more dependent on you. You've got the TMC, which is going to be much stronger and tougher to handle. Is it? And you've got Jagan Mohan Reddy, who is sent you a warning signal. So has this been good for the Congress this today, or bad for the Congress?
No, it is, we cannot make a judgment at the moment, but one thing you have to always bear to remember, Srimati Mamata Banerjee was always concerned in the Bengal, and if the victory will make her more humble and more reasonable, and definitely I am confident that she will continue to support in a full way to the UPA government in Delhi. At the same time, the defeat of DMK, definitely, but we have enough number of MPs there, but the DMK will always look at the Delhi and the Congress together to work again to build the party and bring back their the strength. I don't think it will make any kind of a negative impact, but I believe that it can get more stronger because of the attitude will be adopted by the both leaders. Andhra, of course, my party has to evolve different strategies. Yes.
Mr. Ravi, good evening. This is Barkha Dutt from Bengal tonight. But I had a question actually about Kerala. I had a question, sir, about Kerala. While, of course, your party's coalition has scraped through, you must be disappointed about how the Congress has performed, because to a large measure, you've actually done well there because of your allies, in particular the Indian Union Muslim League. So it hasn't really, in a sense, been a performance that should satisfy the Congress.
Yeah. Though because this is a matter yet to be analyzed. Barkha, you may recall that once we talked a little about this subject once I met you. But I can tell you the problem is that the United Front or the UDF could have made a better performance. But the little two factors I look at as the two factors. One, the Achidanandan factor. If the CPM would have been treated him nicely and given ticket immediately, Achidanandan could not have project his image as a rebel and fighting within the party. At the same time, he got an opportunity to make a blistering attack on the UDF because the Supreme Court made a judgment against a minister of the previous government 20 years ago, a case. So I agree. I have to admit our attack, counter attack or our projection of the LDF government, all their allegations against them because the corruption of the lottery mafia or the leveling case and many, where we could not convey the message. I believe it could not be conveyed properly. Maybe that is the reason that we could not make a big victory. But yet the Kerala people give an opportunity for us to rule Kerala again for 5 years.
Mr. Ravi, Vikram Chandra here from Delhi. Do you think if the left had appointed Mr. Achutanandan or named him, given him a ticket, named him as the chief ministerial candidate earlier, perhaps you would not have been able to get over the line at all?
No, because they would have treated Achutanandan fairly and nicely. Instead of you made a rebellion in the party, that improved his image. That is my feeling. And he is a lone fighter against the UDF and fighter within the party. So that made him some kind of impression on the people of Kerala, especially the different sections. But at the same time, we consoled our position, but that consolidation made us to make a majority, but we could not go in a big way because of these reasons of some shift in our support base.
Mr. Ravi, have the corruption scandals in Kerala affected your party this time?
Corruption is only the one of the oldest story of a corruption, one conviction of a former minister. It might have helped Achutanandan to make a big attack on us, but we could not went to the extent what we expected against the allegation of corruption against the LDF government. There was serious corruption, including lottery mafia and lot of things. There we could not succeed to convey fully to make an impression as such we expected, but it has an impact. That is why we could make a majority and form the government. We could make an impact. But the corruption allegation against the LDF government, yes, it was there.
One little incident that happened during the election, you talked about Chutanandan being a rebel and getting some sympathy, and then Rahul Gandhi says he's going to be 93 by the time he ends, and then he calls Rahul Gandhi the Amul baby. Who won that battle, and how many votes did it cost you?
In fact, it was only a temporary phenomenon, only one day to the news, nor else. Nobody, no political party, including the CPR, never take up that cause, that statement of Rahul in the field, or we retaliated to Achidanandan also. It was immediately forgotten by the people. But
Right,
it has been carried by the media all over India. I agree.
Well, even Amul took out an ad on that. I think it probably, these sort of things do have an impact.
I know that all of you carried all over India, it is come up, but it has not any much impact in Kerala.
Right.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.